Welcome back to Wedge Tips with me, Chris Ryan, where we're going to help you get the most out of the wedges from your bag. Now, this is the third video in the series, and I found myself in a really tricky spot here. A wayward second, and I've got to try and get my ball up and down as best I can, but clearly I need to avoid that water. Now, very often with these situations, the easiest part of this shot is actually knowing and visualizing the shot you want to hit. Clearly we need something with lots of loft that lands and stops relatively quickly. So naturally I'm going to go into my bag and grab the golf club which has the most amount of loft, and for me that is my high toe that carries 60 degrees of loft. However, looking at the situation, I feel I might need even more loft than that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate that golf club away from the target before I place my hands on the golf club. Effectively, I'm opening the club, which gives it even more loft, helps me generate that height, because the only real way I can stop this ball is with that severely steep drop angle, and that's really what I'm trying to achieve. Now, similar to what we said in the first two videos, the setup has to reflect the shot that I'm trying to hit. If I want to hit a high shot that lands soft, I have to set up that way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm actually stood a little bit further away from the golf ball. That means that the handle gets a little bit lower to the ground, and that creates a slightly shallower approach into the golf ball, helps me slide the club under the ball, generate some of that height. I really want to make sure that the club shaft is nice and vertical at setup. I certainly don't want it leaning forwards or back. So nice and vertical, club face is open, grip is a little bit lower. I've set myself up for the shot, but I still need to execute. So what do we need in the shot? Well, we clearly need lots of speed. The more that that ball goes upwards, the less it goes forwards. Therefore, I need lots of speed to cover the distance, which on this shot is probably getting close to some 40 yards. So I'm going to need a pretty full backswing, turning the hips, turning the shoulders, and really feeling like I'm using my wrist set in that backswing. This is me creating enough speed, enough power to make that ball travel that distance. Now, on the way through, tension, not being committed, those are the things which are going to make that ball end up in that water. You need to be committed. You have to be throwing that golf club, what you feel is past your hands, so the club head overtakes your hands for impact. You'll notice how my lead wrist is starting to go into this cupped position. That keeps the loft on the club. It helps me add speed, and those two things help me generate the height, but also the distance. Really common from this type of situation is for a golfer to slide the club under the ball goes up nicely, but lands in that water. We've got to be committed, we've got to use plenty of speed. Now, where I'm actually trying to hit the ball, well, I'm not trying to land it just short of the flag and have it roll up to the flag. That's a little risky. Underhit it a little bit, and it's in the drink. So I'm actually trying to hit this ball and intending it to land probably some 2 to 3 paces past the flag. If that's the shot I hit, that's a pretty good result. But if I slightly underhit it, I'm actually going to be a little closer. So manage your expectations. And if you can do those things, you'll hopefully be using a putter for your next shot. There's the height. Did I get the distance? Pretty much how I planned it out. It landed a few paces past the flag, but it stopped pretty quick, and ultimately I've given myself a chance of getting up and down, and I'm using the putter as my next club. I'm not dropping the ball behind this water here. So that is almost like a super high lob shot. When you're in that situation, dive in there, get the most amount of loft in your club. Make sure the setup reflects the shot you're trying to hit, and the most important thing on these, be committed.